Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CTN Podcast, episode number 4, live in Rockford, Illinois. We're not in the mall anymore. As of previous episode 3, we're now in episode 4. You guys have probably seen Mr. Bernard Rock. I don't have to give him a formal introduction, but ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Bernard Rock. This is a very highly intellectual individual, also being a father, also being a man who's traveled the world and D1 athlete back in the day. You guys definitely can look him up. He knocked out Ohio State out of the NCAA tournament, being a point guard. We definitely gonna talk about that, give people some more background on how to look you guys up. But guys, this is gonna be something a little bit different. This is gonna be something very special for me because actually Mr. Bernard and I did a little mock pop podcast in Arizona. With a bunch of other dudes, but we promised each other, hey man, we're gonna do one together, and here we are today. So, Mr. Bernard Rock, thank you so much for being in the building. I'm in your backyard, and I love this, man. So let's just get right into it, dude. I want to dive right into the D1. Okay, when you was balling, tell the people where did you go to school, what position, and can you walk us through memory lane really quickly of that Ohio State moment that was so big for you, man? Like let's start there.
Well, like you said, my name is Bernard Rock. It's been an amazing journey. I'll be honest with you. I had a long road to get there. I'm not going to really get too much in that story, but I had to go to a bunch of junior colleges to get to D1 because of grades. But when I got to Utah State, we had 8 new players, which was, crazy. So
right.
You got a lot of, personalities, you got a lot of egos, you got a lot of all this, and we had no idea how it was going to turn out, but we had a few games under our belt. We kind of like getting the feel of each other, see how each other play or whatever the case may be. But once we figured it out, it was like a team game.
Right.
I mean, you got a bunch of superstars on one team. Once you figure out, he can play, you kind of figure out, like, I don't need to do it all by myself. So when we got to, we went to Florida, we went to Maui Classic. We had a tough outing. We should have won it, which is crazy. We should have won it. But, a couple of calls didn't go our way. We ended up going 2-1, which is still good.
Yeah, that's still good.
For Maui Classic.
Right.
And once tournament time came around, man, we just clicked. We was like Golden State pretty much. It was like team game. We knew what each other was going to do. And we just went on like a 13-0 run. Just killed everybody. Got to the tournament, swept that. Got to the NCAA tournament my first year, which was crazy, which was a dream come true because that's what everybody go to D1 and do is to play in the big dance.
Right.
And my first year we played UConn. Got beat, but it was different for me because playing a New York team, being from New York, I had a lot of my friends watching because it's big time, and I felt like I didn't play to my capabilities, and which was rightfully so. They had a game plan pretty much to get the ball out of my hands. And once the ball's out of my hands, they felt like, all right, we get the ball out of his hands. I played point guard, and it was like, once we get the ball out of his hands, game over.
We got him.
Game over.
We got him.
So, they had a nice game plan, but, we still held our own for, the first half. Second half, we kind of got it a little bit close. Then in the second half, they just took over.
Right.
So, like I said, I played like crap. I told myself, if I ever get a chance to make it to the NCAA tournament again, that I would never have that kind of game. I'll be ready. I'll be like, all right, the nerves won't be as in. That's right. But, so it was my goal to say, all right, if we had the team that we had, and we got everybody coming back, except for one dude, which was a big piece of our pie, but, we had other guys that stepped up. So next year, we had a better season, but now we have the target on our back, so everybody's after us. We still kicked everybody, but this time we didn't run it. We didn't go 19-0. We probably lost 2 games that year, but we still won a tournament. So that year we had 2 out of our league go to the NCAA tournament as opposed to 1. Because usually the person who wins the tournament has an automatic bid. And since we won it, we had an automatic bid.
Right.
But the team who actually won the league was also pretty good as well. So they got a bid, and so we had 2, which was crazy. But when I got there, we played Ohio State the second time around, same seed, which is crazy because it's like we wasn't getting no respect. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't matter how good we were, we still wasn't getting the respect that we deserved. So, but I mean, when I got there, I was like, all right, we got Ohio State.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't the Ohio State of, before, but they still was good. And they still had the #1 shot blocker in the whole freaking country at the time. So it was still pretty
definitely
good.
Had a tournament. Definitely had
Right. But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I already had it in my mind that once I got here, I was gonna ball out.
Yeah, we need.
I was gonna ball out. If we win, if we lose, we lose. But if we win, I'll make sure I'm gonna have a good game. So I ended up being player in the game, which was crazy. And like I said, I was determined to go out there and let everybody know I could play ball. Mm-hmm. I mean,
respect.
You know what I'm saying? So went out there, killed them. We won in overtime, so that was our first win in 30 years. First win for our school in 30 years in the NCAA tournament, so that was another huge accomplishment. And then second game, we played UCLA, and I mean, my career was over after that. But it still was fun. I mean, I had a great experience. I felt like I should have played basketball after, but God had other plans. And here we are. And here we are. I love that, dude. And I wanted to leave with the NCAA thing just because there's a lesson of self-accountability, because you understood your abilities at the time was lackluster at the level that you can put yourself at. And I think a lot of us in the investing world and just in life right now, I think we could do a better job of understanding potential versus accountability. And then just because you have potential doesn't mean you can be arrogant. Mm-hmm. Right? But also, if you know you got potential, don't be timid. You need to be able to find that fine line of knowing where you can be accountable, not arrogant, but having confidence, and also moving with a purpose. And what you did in that basketball period, you understood that you've played better. You've seen yourself. You know what that we call mode. Mm-hmm. You know what that flow state, when you're in that, and then in that frequency, and then you're going, okay, I know I can do better than this. I need to figure out some things, and that's an off season, right? So I hope everybody understands that there is a level of expertise when it comes to a craft, knowing that if you are the best at your craft and you know you're not performing at your best, then there has to be a level of self-accountability for yourself, and then you take those lessons. You don't gotta broadcast them to the world, because that's yours. That is ownership of, you have the power to do that for yourself. So I want everybody to understand from that lesson right there, self-accountability, knowing where your potential is, and then also making the proper decisions on the off season, or when your business or when your life is not at its peak. What can you be doing to set yourself for the next one? And then even cherishing a moment as beating Ohio State. Yes, you lost to UCLA, but there was a lot of preparation and mindset behind it to get to those moments and get back again, even with a target on your back. So what I want to move from there is I want to talk about this accountability piece, because we're in 2 different generations. Mm-hmm. Technology, we got a camera, we got a mic, iPhones, IG Lives, we got computers, laptops. That's how I grew up. That was my reality. And now I got to be accountable with the gifts that my generation, or what I've been able to grow up in. I got to take accountability for the usage of said technology. Mm-hmm. So with you coming in a different generation than I did before me, how are you now being accountable with this technology, knowing that back then this was not your reality? So I'll ask it a better way to make it make sense. Explain the different usage of technology and how it's advanced to now, and how you've been accountable of adapting to the technology, almost trying your best to stay ahead of the curve, learning new things, and accepting the fact that this is the now, and I have to let go of what was. Man, kind of a loaded question. Yeah. But I'll be honest, man. y'all got it easy. Y'all got it. It's the technology now is a gift and a curse, right?
Right.
When I was playing, if I had the footage and if I had somebody following me around with a freaking camera 24/7 showing my skills of my everyday basketball life and the skills that I picked up from, man, we'd be living in two different worlds right now, because if I had footage of me playing ball, I probably would have made it to the league like that, because why? I had the footage now. I have the people knowing who Bernard Rock is. Like, right. You know, like nowadays you got AAU tournaments. These kids with cameras, and these kids are already like, man, who this kid? I'm gonna watch this kid from freaking AAU all the way from high school to college. It's like they already got it easy, as opposed to now they gotta come watch you from every day. They gotta come to where you're at physically. Now they don't have to come to you physically.
And that word of mouth. Yeah, that word of mouth had to happen. Right?
Absolutely. And then now to have the cameras and technology make it so much easier for people to say, man, this kid is all the way in freaking bourgeoisie. But,
right.
You know, here goes some footage on him, and you'd be like, yo, damn, this kid got some skills.
Like the kid, there's a kid in, there's an African dude who wants to play in the NBA, and he's in Africa, and they record him carrying tires, water bottles. He got bricks on his ankles, shooting free throws. Like he's in dirt and mud. But what that would like to add to your point, it's the different age of technology and exposure that you had. Because back in the day, if you wanted to get exposed, you're talking word of mouth discussion. But now you're saying the exposure is everybody has access to this technology. So continue.
And then, like I said, as far as like, let's be real. If I had somebody with a camera in my face every day, back when I was, I mean, you couldn't get away with nothing. Like we could get away with things back then. Nobody can get away with nothing because everybody's a freaking media right now. Everybody, got the cell phones up. Oh, you about to fight? Yeah, we about to watch this fight. They posting everything already. It's like when I had that, you get beat up. Nobody clowning you except for the people who saw the fight. Except for people who saw the fight. It's different. Now everybody clowning you now because it's already posted on my feed, and it's like, so now like everybody got to be held accountable for technology, and everybody got to definitely, for me, I remember when the Apple computer first came out, everybody was looking at this like, what the heck is this? But, you know, as we start playing with it slowly, it's like, obviously, you're learning something new. So it's challenging for everybody because they're learning something new.
Right.
But once we started figuring out, it was like, all right, this is part of everyday world now. You just got to figure out what we're going to do with this computer. How are we going to use this technology now to our advantage as opposed to
a disadvantage.
Right. And, you know, especially for people my age, because I'm 45. I'm not a young whippersnapper like everybody else. 45. But, you know, for especially people my age, when it comes to change, it's that much harder because we don't want to change. We like I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do that. I like how it was. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how we fix.
That's true.
That's how we fix.
It don't have to be broke.
Right. So, but you know, technology now is so far in advance that it makes life that much easier for us to just get on here and go research something that, I don't know what this means. Okay, let me Google it real quick. Let me put it in my phone real quick. It's like, it's so convenient to have access to something that pretty much can excel you that much faster than have the freaking, can you teach me this?
Right.
Can you do this for me? No.
The convenience it's the convenience now. That convenience and accessibility.
Absolutely.
Is one of the biggest differences.
And I mean, I say this, like, I'm not saying that I'm obviously y'all more advanced technology than I am because that y'all pretty much grew up on this stuff.
Right. But
hard. I mean, it's not that hard to get on something to research something.
No, right.
You know, it's not that hard to tap a few buttons. Like, you freaking text on your phone anyway. Why not put it to something else and say search? And then read what you're searching instead of taking everybody's word for it. Hey, do this, do that. Nah, bro. Stop being so damn lazy. Especially when it's so easy. So it's like, everybody got to hold themselves accountable when it comes to the internet. Because, like I said, it's something that can really, truly help you. And now when we come out the first web, it was more like a
toy,
a Wikipedia type of thing. You're gonna do certain things on there,
right?
And then now when you come out Web 2, it's like, now we could do way more things on I can invent something. Mm-hmm. And then now with this whole new Web3, it's gonna make internet and everything that you do more easy for the average Joe to own something.
To own it now, right? The ownership piece.
Like, that's the most important part with this whole new technology coming out. It's like, if I do music, and I'm not a music guru, I don't know anything about music, right. But if I did music, instead of me going to get a label now, I could put out my own music, and the money comes directly to me.
Right, no middleman. Take the middleman.
And not you being an owner. Or your platform,
the label,
that it's like, no, that's all mine now. So, man, to be in the technology world nowadays, it's a blessing, to be honest with you.
Dude, and you've hit so many points on the head. We could go hours on each even little thing. I want to add to that, because with the difference in generations, for us, when we know that this is the bare minimum. This is the standard. Like, this is standard for us now. Like, we're talking, having a phone is standard. If you don't have one, you're now considered weird. Mm-hmm. For, not too long ago, if you had a phone, you were weird.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Or you're a drug dealer. Or you're a drug dealer. Let's be real. You got a phone, you're a drug dealer.
Right. So, and then understanding that now that's the standard, and now it's almost the basic functionalities to do the basic things almost becomes difficult. Like, doing the basic stuff of, okay, I have the internet. I could look this up on my own. I can do that. You could do that. I think there's a problem. People don't know how to research, because that is also a craft. You can't just Google everything and think you're going to get the answers to everything. No, there's certain keywords and certain keystrokes that open up certain articles, and then we can go all day on which articles are good. Like, .gov is better than .com, and we can get that's a whole different ball game. I will say one piece about research is something. All academic writing is one of your highest levels of research. If you're able to find an article from an academia, whether it be a research paper, a dissertation, a scientific study, and a college website that someone wrote a paper on it and got research on PDF form, that is a great resource to utilize, because now you're not only just picking from data points that the internet does, because if we search up dogs, the internet is going to go all over the globe to find something about dogs and create and give you the best searches at the top, and that's your best, and that's typically your top article, which is typically what? Wikipedia. So Wikipedia, right? So when you're in the art of researching something, and this is what I learned in journalism, when you're researching something, if you get an academic writing of a topic on basketball, trading, investing, podcasting, what we're doing, and you find an academic writing, you're now not tapping into the internet. You're tapping into someone's thoughts. Because every academic writing has to be signed. It has to be stated. There's table of contents. You get to know the people who wrote the thing. And then you get to research the people. So I like academic writing because you truly are now tapping into somebody's mentality, perspective, wavelength, research, stress. You really get to that attachment. So I would just say, if you guys are researching any topic and you want to get a really, really good resource, being resourceful, a really good resource for Bernard's generation, a good resource was homie down the street. He down the street, the barber, the corner store, your parents, those are the resources now. And some people don't utilize people. So as technology has advanced, if you are trying to do research and you want something resourceful, academic writing from a school, research, science, something like that, that's a very good resource you want to use. But that's my only point on that. We can spend hours on the rest of the stuff.
That's dope.
I want to speak onto the accountability as well, because now knowing that this is your standard, this is my standard. This is my standard. I need to understand how this standard is functional in different communities, because it's not going to be the same. The way I use my phone is not the same way you use phone. We have the same functions in the same system, but the way we use the system is completely different. And since the system is now unilateral between our devices, our iPhones, it's the same iPhone.
Right.
But now our usage of that iPhone is going to drastically change someone's life. From, like you said, if there was exposure when you was coming up, you might have been in the league. Now these kids in AAU, they get the exposure young. They use the system however they need to use it to build branding rights. And now when they're in high school, they getting NIL deals before they even step on a college course.
Absolutely.
You're getting TikTok creators. They're getting full brand deals for cars, houses, sports betting, drinks. But the difference of this now is what makes them different than us, or for people who don't have brand deals. It's the usage. It's the intention behind it. So I want to go from the accountability and the transformation of technology and learning how to adapt to that and accepting that reality. I want to dig into the fact that there is now an intention of the usage of what we have. So I want to start with me on what I've been blessed with in this space. Because of social media, because that was new for me. I remember when Facebook first came out, and I remember posting my very first Facebook post on my blue little iPhone 4. Then it was a selfie in the bathroom wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. I might put it up on the video, y'all can see. Y'all can clown me in the comments. But that was one of my very, very first posts ever. Since that day, the access to people for myself is very powerful. I like to use my social media to research and connect. That's all I like to do. I'll post. I used to post a lot. I still do post. But now, if I'm specified in a subject such as investing and wanting to help children, I'm going to now, I have the blessing to now look up those search words on any social media platform and connect with companies, businesses, and people on helping out children and now build relationships. So I want to talk on, do you believe there's the word of mouth art is dying, or do you think word of mouth is in this connection conversation? Do you think word of mouth is still very powerful? Because back then that was yours. Do you think word of mouth still plays a role in networking and getting to know people and getting your business out there? Do you think that is still very prevalent skill set we need, or should we start looking into social media way more?
Nah. Yeah, I mean, internet is great. Internet is awesome.
Right.
Like I said, it's the accessibility and the simplicity and the easy factor of the internet. But I'd rather see you in person than over a Zoom call.
Okay.
Why? Because I can get to see you. I can get to touch you to know that first off you're real. That you're a real person.
You really
are who you say you are. And not only that, like I can pick your brain in person. I can actually see physically what you're looking at.
I'm looking at what I'm thinking.
You're telling me, you're showing me physically what you look. I mean, it's like I said, it's cool over. I can still see you,
but not really see.
I can't see and feel and really feel how you think.
Right.
That type of thing.
Use your senses.
Right.
Your senses. Okay.
I mean, it's like I say, I'd rather be in person. And then like even today, coming to the mall, like we feel like, yeah, we can come on a Zoom, or we can come online and show you whatever it is that we do.
Close the deal.
But it feel like hey, won't you check out my business deal? I'm telling you, it's great. It's gonna be good for you. Da, 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 da. But when you're in person and it's more, I can walk up to you, hey, what's this? I can ask you questions. My eye get intrigued because now I'm looking at something and I can explain it to you more in person. And not only can I explain it to you, the way I'm talking to you, you're going to be like, damn, this dude is like full of energy. It's like, what the hell is he on? Like, is he on crack? Like,
it hits
you know what I mean?
It's a little bit different, right?
Yeah, man. So like just being in person is more because you get the dynamic of, like I said, just man, you're a real cool dude in person. Like, man, your personality is crazy different. So you just get the more of the relationship feel,
right,
being in person than being on the internet.
And it's the level of energy transfer that you have.
Absolutely.
Right? So, because now over a technological device, the technology, it cannot feed you back a feeling.
Right.
It just takes data and then transmits that data through a camera to the next person. And it's just data. We're looking at 2 data points, right? And we don't even know that I'm who I say I am through a camera, because I can be a whole recording. And y'all seen it with the whole AI stuff. I can be an AI. And you talking to a very detailed AI through a Zoom call. So I can understand where now I'm right here. And if I'm energized, now when you leave my table, it's not even about what I just said to you. Mm-hmm. It's how did I make you feel?
Absolutely.
And that feeling is I think that is a very big metric when it comes to business that we don't really think about a lot. Same experience, I'm in the mall for the first time. And I've been doing this for 4 years. I've been my business for 4 years and I've never been in the mall. I've done presentations over the phone. I've spoken in colleges. I did my own tour, but the mall? Nah, that's different. Mm-hmm. Because now how can I make an impact on everybody who passed my table in a square? Like, I don't have the freedom to hop off the stage and go in front of people and really be in your space. Mm-hmm. And really not invade, but add value to this personal bubble that you've created for yourself. I can't do that. I can't be on the phone in my pajamas, pacing my basement or pacing my crib, really stewing back and forth. I can't. Nope. I am now in a confined square that I have to follow the rules and protocols of a building. Stay in that square. And now how can I project that what I have at my table is more important than that Barnes & Noble you're about to walk in or that sports shop or that Zoomies. Mm-hmm. That in itself is an experience everybody should feel. Can you stand perfectly still and make an impact? Can you stand perfectly still and sell people your vision? Just like on episode 2, my man Luck was talking about it. Knowing what you selling. As a minimal worker, you're selling a product. As a business owner, you're selling an idea. As an investor, you are selling I'll say the vision, my bad. He said, if you're at the bottom, product. If you're in the middle, you're selling an idea. And you're at the top, you as an investor, you're selling a future. What is it going to look like in the next 10 to 15 years? You got to convince investors now. So the levels of impact and how you're talking to people should vary. And the mall is a very interpersonal thing. It is not for introverts. Well, actually, you can be introverted and sit still all day and still make a sale.
Thanks.
You could. It could just be that you're a really good designer and people are just intrigued by your designs. And you sit there right there and let everybody come to you because you know you got the best. But that's not always the case. So that experience, I think everybody needs to have.
Absolutely.
Being in the mall. That changed my whole thing. And what makes it special is now I'm looking at you. Mm-hmm. And also, the accountability factor. Do I know what I'm really talking about?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Do I really now know what I'm speaking on? Over Zoom, I can have a script.
True.
In a presentation, I got slides.
Facts.
When you in the mall, this is what you got to bring. You need to be able to talk that talk now. Okay, you got products you can show people in your booth, but dude, with what we was doing today in the mall, teaching people about the different streams of income, you can't touch different streams of income. Income is not it's not physical. I can't physically show you crypto. I can't take a Bitcoin out of my pocket. I can't even do that for Forex. I can't do that for stocks. I cannot physically in my hand hold a share of Apple and let you hold the share and go, how does that share feel? I can't do that. Unlike these guys who do nails and lashes and clothes, you can walk up and touch the material. You can walk up and try it on and put the sunglasses and they got a little mirror. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to what we're doing in investing, and so if you're in any field of investing or selling a course of some kind, really know what you're talking about because your voice now is going to sell, not your product. Mm-hmm. Your voice is going to guide people to the product. But like you said, how they make it feel is going to be a very big deciding factor on are they going to purchase that item or Absolutely. Purchase your course. And that's what some people are really, really good at. Of course, there's people who are advanced and like Earn Your Leisure and I Am Master Academy that are really, really good. They don't even have to do any kind of talking. They can just show it to you and people eventually buy it. But if you are up and coming and you are looking to get a course out there, really work on your word of mouth, your presentation, your diction. Get the uhs and the ahs out your voice. Don't do no uhs and ahs. And here's a great speaking practice. I learned this from a speaking coach. He said you should be your pitch 10 times. First 3 times, like you do it 10 times on your phone. First 2 times listening and no sound. this. Look how you talk. How do you stand? How do you view yourself? You watch your physical appearance and your physical prowess. Okay? The next 3 times, all audio, no video. You just listen now. How do you sound? How do you speak? Do you say ahs? Do you say uhs? Do you say like? Do you have a certain catchphrase that you keep saying? Oh man, like this, man. Yo, bet that. Or can you take that out of your professionalism because you don't know which room you're gonna be in?
True.
And then the final time is you watch the full thing. How do you sound and how do you present? You're already gonna notice changes in the first time you listen to yourself with no sound. You're gonna go, oh my God, I'm licking my lips a lot. My hair out of place. I'm licking my lips a lot. I'm out of place. My eyes are going side to side. It's not good. So you have this ability to do that, and that's where I think your generation has really cracked that down because that's all you had. You didn't have the camera to edit. Editing wasn't a thing. It didn't exist at the time. Editing in the movie industry, yeah, but editing on a personal level to using technology and apps, no. So I think that is a blessing that I think my generation needs to learn from your generation. Speaking to people as normal people. I think the pandemic, COVID, plandemic, however you want to call it, that anxiety went through the roof for some people. Anxiety of fear of talking to other people, showing your face without a filter, really speaking your truth and what you believe in, like that became a fear. And I'll allude that to the next point I want to talk about, especially with you being in this space of investing and teaching people how you trade. So in that confidence, where could someone find confidence? Because I believe that confidence is not innate. It's not something that you're just born with confidence. I think there's more than that, and I want you to explain where do you find that confidence to beat these anxieties to speak in front of people, or in your experience of investing and talking to lots of people, where did you find that confidence? Where does that come from for you?
Wow, talking. To be honest, talking. I didn't like talking.
Really?
I couldn't stand talking. Like, I mean, I could talk, but I could talk about me.
Okay, because you knew you.
Exactly.
You knew yourself best. Okay.
And not only that I knew myself best, but when I was talking, I was always talking about, remember when I was in college. Or it had to go back to college and had to go back to ball. And it always came out when I was drunk, which is the crazy part.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I always went down memory lane when I was drunk. And when I'm drunk, I can talk.
I think that's a lot of people. They either have the vape or smoke some weed.
When I'm intoxicated and when I'm high, I'm just a totally different person.
Right.
I'm open. I can have more fun. And it's just like I just didn't care. I mean, not that I was doing anything stupid. It's just that when I'm drunk, I'm just out there having a freaking grand old time.
But from what I've known you have that you still have that fun, not caring thing, even when you're not inebriated.
Right, but it took me a while to get there because I stopped drinking. 1, 2, I got a lot more to talk about.
Expound on that. Expound on that. More to talk about. What does that mean?
Like I said, I only talked about me. I only talked about basketball. I only talked about glory days. I only talked about, my accolades, my accomplishments. And it got tired of talking about myself. So when I came into this space, I got to learn about entrepreneurship.
New topics.
I got to learn about freedom. I got to learn about new topics. I got to learn about money. I got to learn about jobs. I got to learn about pretty much everything.
Business. Even just
I got to learn about a lot of things in these last 2 years that I have my whole life. And I don't know if it was because now that I think about it a lot, like I guess I've heard the things before, but no one never really instilled them in my head. And at the time, like I said, I was in my own little world because I had one goal and one goal in mind, and that was sports. Right. So I wasn't looking at anything else.
Makes sense.
But and then like I said, once that kind of crashed, I went to I guess I went to a depression state. Okay. Didn't know it because it was just normal. But I was acting out of character. I was angry. And like I said, when I was drunk, I didn't really give a fuck.
Right, those freedoms kind of just
like I was just like I had less tolerant refuse.
So what was that transition? So if you understood that you were feeling that you were in that depressive state, what were some things that you did to not get you out of it, but helped you in that when you traversed down that road? What helped you?
Nothing. Because I didn't know I was depressed.
Interesting. Okay.
I know I'm depressed now because I'm telling my story.
Okay, it was a reflection, but at the time in that moment you didn't. Okay.
No, at the time I was just acting out. I thought it was normal.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It was just, I wasn't the type of one that, because I was already angry, I wasn't the type of one that was putting up with nobody's bullshit.
That's fair.
Like, I wasn't, because like, okay, I guess a lot of people say I had short man syndrome.
Oh my God.
Why? Because I'm the littlest guy around a bunch of tall people all the time.
You was a point guard. Yeah. That makes sense.
Right.
But you did play point guard, so.
But it was like a lot of times, a lot of people felt like they didn't see me. Like they would bump into me, like spill my drink all the time, and it's like, bro, like,
come on,
you
man.
Don't see me?
You don't sense.
I'm the loudest motherfucker in here. How you don't see me? I'm the loudest one in here. How you don't see me? But like I said, I didn't know I was depressed, so I was just living life, living BS jobs and just going with the flow.
Right. So you think that entrepreneurship and what you're doing now definitely helped in this new evolution of yourself from that depressed state?
Absolutely. I mean, it made, like I said, one stop drinking kind of helped a lot because
being able to think.
Absolutely. Right. It got my freaking mind clear.
Right.
And then two, coming into this space gave me a different perspective on life because it's like once I started learning and hearing about the things of what was going on, and I'm sitting here thinking like, wow, like everything that I'm seeing from hearing what I'm hearing and then going back to my job, watching everyday people, it's like,
you can't look at it the same.
How can we all be so stupid? Cause
that is so funny.
Like, cause bro, I be talking. Like I said, this is all I talk about.
Right.
All I talk. There's nothing else I talk about.
I am consumed fully with this language.
I am just so. And then so when I talk to people and I'm talking to my friends, and they be like, "So what are you trying to say? Like, are we all just dumb? Are we all just?" And I'm like, yes. I mean, because, bro, it's like, now that I know all this, it's like, how the hell was I so blind?
Like, who was hiding this?
Who was keeping all this from me? Like, how did I not know that I can make things so much easier? How did I not know that I can start a business?
Give me one example of that. One example. One thing that you realized, like, what I was so blind with. What was one of those things that you did once you found out? Like, what was that? What was that thing you found out and you went, oh my God? Credit. How it works?
Taxes. Like, we all so scared of taxes. I gotta pay taxes at the end of the year. Out of this. Oh, taxes this. Oh, why they ain't getting taxed? Why am I getting told tax? Not knowing that's the cheat code.
And they wrote it out for us.
Like, everything is in plain sight. To be honest with you, everything that we say they do,
we can do as well.
We can do as well.
It's like it feels like it's exclusive. Like, okay, it's like, hey man, look, I can't really teach you the game. I gotta keep the game over here. That gatekeeping feeling, and I think gatekeeping is a whole different subject. I think a lot of people gatekeep stuff, but taxes and credit, continue, bro. I didn't want to.
Taxes and credit is probably like the number one at my list. Number one, and then number two, collaboration, leverage,
right? Leverage. Mm-hmm.
Like, I can leverage the bank to give me. At the time, I had an 800 credit score. I probably could have got $1 million in credit. $1 million in credit. Let's think about this.
Okay. I'm thinking.
If I have an 800 credit score and I have a business and the bank lend me some money, how I used to think was, all right, give me this money and I'm going to spend it on, I already got it before I spent it. I already know what I bought.
Right, it was already in your mind.
And I ain't paying you back. Or I'll pay you back when I feel like paying you back. Not knowing that, all right, you give me some money, I go do what I gotta go do. I give you your money back. You gonna give me more money. But I didn't have that concept. I'm thinking I'm gonna get all this money, I'm gonna trick it off and that's it. Not knowing that I should have paid you back your money so you can give me more money so I could do bigger things. But
cycle.
I didn't have that mentality.
Right, didn't have that.
Now I have that mentality. Like now I can go leverage a bank, cause let's be real. If we as friends come up with a business idea, I got 5,000, you got 5,000. We can go use that somewhere, or we got family members that need money, and we got money. Instead of borrowing our money to our family, we're not gonna charge them interest. That's like an interest-free loan to our family because
becoming your own bank.
Exactly. We become our own bank. Now that's how the bank started. Four buddies say, hey, let's put our money together and borrow down to everybody. But now we're gonna charge them for taking our money.
Interest and having the interest, and please read your interest rates. Please know them. Please,
like the back of your hand.
You need to know interest rates of the banks, of credit cards. Please read the interest rates, APRs, APYs. Those things are very, very vital. Know what the interest is of the country with the Federal Reserve. I'm into some investing it for everybody. Please know the days that the Federal Reserve, the Fed chairman is talking. Make that your Orange is the New Black. Make that your, what's that stripper show on freaking Paramount that people, I don't know. Make it the Love is Blind. Whatever show that you watch for my anime people, and I watch anime religiously, make the Federal Reserve's talk, when he talks, make that is highly important in your day. Put an AirPod out in, tune on to MSNBC or CNBC or Bloomberg, watch the live stream, and just make that your fix. Because that right there, when we're talking about credit and taxes, that Federal Reserve Bank got a lot of impact on all the way we look about funds, money, the way we spend it, inflation, everything. Make that a key. And I want to add to the credit piece in taxes. If you have never looked at your credit report, I need you to go to annualcreditreport.com right now and go get your 3 free credit reports. And please look at your credit reports. I don't want to. I make this so serious. A lot of us on this podcast, and we want to do Airbnb, we want to do real estate, we want to do Turo, we want a credit fix. Love it. I think you should go do it. But if you do not know what a credit score is, or a FICO score, or how they're pulled, how they're calculated, and have never seen your own credit report, don't do any of those businesses before you do. Because where the taxes, interest, principals, and balances will play a big role in credit, period. Because that credit, as we all know, or maybe not know, house, car, insurance, healthcare, credit. And all that stuff is impactful. And why credit's important? Because that's what the rich do. The super wealthy do. Have we not, and we talk about taxes, right? Did we not all forget when Trump and Hillary was talking? That man Trump, and maybe you may not like him, but let's just listen to what he said. Why would you change, if you want to tax the rich more, change the tax code. And the reason you're not going to change the tax code is because you benefit from the same code I do.
Absolutely.
That had nothing. That if people have looked at that as a very ill political statement, I looked at it as that's business. Back then, I didn't see it as business.
Absolutely.
But now when I've been in business and doing what I'm doing, I went, oh, he really just gave us a big hint. The tax code. IRS.gov. Look up IRS.gov tax code. Have fun reading them. The stuff that's possible, like Trump buried somebody on his golf course. His ex-wife in a cemetery. And now that golf course is considered a cemetery on paper.
So he ain't got paid.
Y'all can fact check me on that, but there were articles all over.
He ain't got paid no taxes on that golf course property.
Right. So what I want this to be the lesson for this. I want people to understand is credit and taxes are two very not talked about a lot subjects, and especially for families, and we can see it. People with high credit scores, they learned about credit when they was young. People with above average or struggling wasn't adequately exposed, and we also got to learn the credit risks. Like, for example, understand that I learned this by working. I've worked in identity theft and fraud. So this is phone calls I'm getting sometimes. That their mom made them a authorized user when they was 3 and had bad credit until the kid was 18. So now the kid's credit score is screwed. Or opening things in their name because they got a lot of credit on your credit card. Opening up utility bills, phone bills. All because of the access to credit. Then taxes. For those who didn't know, the IRS had a overwhelming falter of unemployment claims. I think everybody saw that on the news, right? The unemployment claims during when COVID first started and everybody was losing their jobs and filed for unemployment. Oh yeah, that messed up your taxes. Because if you file for unemployment, but you still owe taxes from a previous year or even into the next year because you got a new job, you got to know how to fill that stuff out. So credit and taxes, guys, if you haven't learned anything today, credit, taxes, 2 heavily important subjects. Find a book on them. Talk to somebody about
$6.99 for a tax book. $3.99 for a tax book.
Learn the tax codes. Talk to an advisor. Find a financial advisor who can give you the game. It's totally okay, guys, to find that kind of stuff out for yourself. Go do those things because that's going to be very, 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 very beneficial in relationships. And now, watch how this goes full circle. Now that you want to learn about credit and taxes, check this out. You can use technology to build relationships. And by watching you 10 times on learning how to build a relationship, you can be able to approach more business owners and build more relationships for your business on the long run because you learn about credit and taxes.
Absolutely.
Using the technology that has now become the standard and then having the ability to research using academic papers to now make this whole thing in a straight line. See, I made that full circle. That's crazy. That's impressive. Anyway. But guys, to wrap this whole thing up, man, Bernard, thank you so much for being here, dog. I think people are going to gain a very high level of wisdom from providing perspective in your experience into now what our disparities and our differences are. And it can be good or they can be bad. And like I said, guys, like my man Bernard said, when it came to focusing and exposure for athletes and using the technology and having those standards, being able to adapt and being able to adjust in the period of time that you are, also understanding of how you're able to find your confidence even through your depressive state, and even into now when you don't need to use alcohol or weed or drugs to still think and speak at the level that you want to, and to now knowing that in your realm of business, credit and taxes are one of the 2 most important things that is I think every business person or every just people you don't have a business, learn them. Learn credit, learn taxes, make that your best friend when you guys reach your stuff. But guys, this has been episode 4 of the CTN Podcast with Bernard. Go ahead and subscribe. All his information is going to be down in the description. You guys can follow him, book a meeting with him. I know you do meetings.
Yes, sir.
Definitely like that. We use Instagram very often. So follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTubes. Listen to my man's morning show with what?
Wake Up with Rock.
Wake Up with Rock. Tune into his morning show.
6 a.m., 7 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay.
I mean, Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Definitely be on the lookout for those videos. Going to be hitting YouTube as well. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you want to see more of stuff like that. And we out of here.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Bam! That's how